Now, 5 years after We Are Like That Only, her best-selling study on the logic of consumer India, Rama Bijapurkar is back in action, taking stock of its evolution in her new book titled A Never Before World. She starts from the point that emerging markets, the queen of which is India, are a never before world, and businesses approaching them need to understand the environment in which consumers live, how they think, how heterogeneous they are, and how they are changing. As consumption structures and consumer behavior go through tectonic shifts, the real battle for the share of wallet begins now, she says. Well, we have Rama Bijapurkar divulging some of those sharp insights with our viewers. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Rama Bijapurkar. I'm a management consultant and I work in the area of market strategy. My new book is a sequel to We Are Like That Only, and it's called A Never Before World, Tracking the Evolution of Consumer India. So the idea of this book is to take stock of consumer India, to take stock of where we are on the consumption journey as we enter the third decade, as we are in the third decade of liberalization, and we are actually getting into our $3 trillion of GDP. To begin with, I think that the so-called middle class, which is actually our upper class, whichever way you push the numbers, using whatever metrics you possibly can, and I do provide that analysis in the book, is really only the top 20% of India. When we say rural markets are booming, I think we're saying that the so-called middle class, which is actually the upper class, is 50% in rural and 50% in urban India. More importantly, if you actually step back and look at a consumer economy, a consumption-driven economy, as being something that continuously looks at satisfying needs and wants of people, adding value to them and extracting value from them, I don't think we've actually even started skimming the surface of that. If you go to America, you find that there are just so many little things that are available to make life better. Whether it's something as simple as a sock that you slip on your foot so that you, when you're trying on a new shoe, so that other people don't get your dirty feet when they're trying it on, or whether it is something like Skype, or whether someone's saying diapers.com will deliver diapers home because a new mother can't really go out. Cut to where we are today. The wish list, and I have a large wish list in my book, is really quite large. I mean, I've often wondered why is it that no one's really looked at the insides of the refrigerator for us in India. I don't know about your refrigerators, but mine is full of maida and pulses and everything else, and maybe a lot of people just want a cold cupboard. We eat 1 trillion chapatis a year, you know, and as we all know, making chapatis for your husband or your mother-in-law is negative labor, even if making it for your children is positive labor. But we really don't have a husband-acceptable, reasonably priced, ready-to-eat chapati. I think the point being made is that we really have to start getting on our consumption journey now, and it is, as I argue, in no man's land. Why is all of the market in no man's land? Because multinational companies are quite happy looking at extension markets for what they already have built in other countries. But what about the rest of the market that is really underserved? To those of you who travel by local train, I think you will know who's serving this market. It's a lot of small entrepreneurs who have small made-for-India products and services. Whether it's 2 warm pieces of chapati-shaped cloths to keep your chapatis warm at the top and bottom of the pile, whether it is all the stuff that's coming from China, which is absolutely made for India. The ladies who come to do Mehndi have very quickly figured out new markets. They figured out it's a global world, and they figured out that lots of foreigners are coming. So they're offering sari draping services. They have figured out that Mehndi can go on the small of the back, it can go on men as well as women, and they're basically expanding their market as they go along. But the trouble with small companies is that they don't really scale. So in sum and substance, what we have today is what I call the land of Lilliput, where you have a lot of small suppliers who are actually serving a lot of small customers, and in a market that is increasingly fragmenting. And so I think we're still waiting for the beginnings of a consumption-oriented, consumer-driven society. By far the biggest caution that I give in my book is that the $3 trillion of GDP is going to be very different from the past. I think in the past, prices of everything came down, as we remember, because duties were reduced and because prices were reduced as a result of competition. Quality actually went up. and subsidies were held, which means our cost of living was held, and at the same time our incomes grew. So we thought that that discretionary income would continue to rise as we went along. I think now we're seeing a reversal. I think we're going to find that discretionary income is actually going to start shrinking. So marketers had better watch out, because I think the real choice is going to be between sending your kid to school or buying that extra bucket of water or paying for that additional electricity versus some of the other goodies that you can have in life. So thank you very much. I would be very anxious to know what you thought about my book and whether it resonates with your own experience and what takeaways and so whats you have as a result of reading this book. So do write to me at rama@bijapurkar.com. I look forward to hearing from you.
And with that, we're completely out of time. We'd love to hear from you. So do write into Brand Equity at etnow.tv, or alternatively log on to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/brandequity to dip into our archives, or simply start a conversation with us. You could do the same on Twitter at Brand Equity Live. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, ciao, ciao.